AITA for lighting a match at night and scaring my boyfriend's dad so badly he woke up the whole house? My boyfriend and I are staying at his parents' house. It's been going really well, but his dad is very particular. He has moments every day where he corrects or instructs the other people in the house on how he wants us to behave. I don't really have a problem with it, but he has a few rules that do make me a little uncomfortable. I don't need to get into why, but I always get diarrhea here. I've been visiting them a few times a year for almost a decade and it just is what it is. My boyfriend and I used to stay in a room downstairs with a bathroom and it wasn't a problem, but his brother moved back home and now we don't have our own bathroom. I don't want to advertise the fact that I have diarrhea to everyone in the house and I'm not allowed to use the bathroom fan at night, so I usually use poo-pourri or just a drop. When we got home the last time, my boyfriend got a text from his dad asking him to ask me to stop using strong essential oils, as it was making him feel sick. I was so embarrassed and I honestly have been kind of reading coming here again. I was talking to my mom about this and she suggested that I bring some paper matches because that's what she used to do. I got some paper matches and they actually work pretty well. Tonight I woke up from my sleep because I had diarrhea. I lit a match when I was done, ran it under water and folded it up into some aluminum before throwing it in the garbage. I fell back asleep and was woken up a while later by a big commotion. My boyfriend's dad smelled burning and thought the house was on fire, so he woke everyone up in a panic and searched the house to see what was burning. I didn't immediately equate a match with a house fire and I didn't smell anything when I woke up, so I didn't bring up that I had lit a match. It wasn't even clicking for me that the match was what he smelled until my boyfriend asked me if I smelled anything when I got up earlier to use the bathroom. Long story short, I just got chewed out by his dad for lighting matches at night or lighting matches in general as a guest in their home. And even his mom was upset because I could have started a fire, and nobody would know. I apologized and everyone went back to bed, but then my boyfriend lectured me for like 15 minutes about embarrassing him and playing dumb, about not knowing what his dad smelled and not using common sense, and then had told me to go to sleep and try not to wake everyone up again. I'm honestly so pissed. My boyfriend is sleeping soundly and I'm just laying here getting madder and madder. I want to wake him up so we can leave, because I feel so uncomfortable. I really don't want to face everyone in the morning. I don't feel like I did anything wrong, but I don't know if I'm thinking rationally because I'm tired and I can't fall back asleep. What do you think? Am I thought-provoking? AITA for kicking my son's girlfriend out of our house? My husband, 58M, and I, 56F, recently met my son's, 24M, girlfriend for the first time. He's been crazy about her. Apparently they've been dating for a year before he decided to have her meet us officially. What he's told us about her all seems great. She just got her degree, was enjoying her job, family-oriented, etc. I'm honestly just glad he's happy with her. My husband and I don't think he's ever been this into someone before, so I feel pretty bad about what I did. Last weekend, he brought her over for dinner. By now we've been anticipating meeting her with how much our son has been gushing about her. How perfect she is, that she's the one, in his words. They ring the doorbell. We open the door. She looks exactly like her pictures, which is a great start. My son is grinning ear to ear, another great start. We invite them in. She accepts my hug and a firm handshake from my husband, and then she opens her mouth. I'm the one your son puts his anus in. To be frank, I was appalled. I expected my husband to laugh. Both he and my son are jokesters, and as annoying as it can be, I love it, but this was just too much for me. Maybe I'm reserved, but of all things she could have shared about my son, she told us that. One look at my face and my husband knew how much I disapproved. Maybe I let my expectations get too high, and it's unfair to have them, but I reiterate, of all things to say to her boyfriend's parents, whom she never met, she chose that? My son was amused at first, but when he noticed my reaction, his face dropped. I felt like he'd sold me the full package, everything he'd always been looking for in a girlfriend. I was too disturbed by the visual it put in my head, and it translated into anger. It told her to get out, and I wanted to say more about how gross it made me feel, but I fortunately left it that. My son didn't want to go, insisting I give her another chance, but I was too fed up and uncomfortable by this point. Even my husband, who enjoyed his fair share of raunchy jokes, wouldn't let up. They left and I immediately felt guilty. This was something my son had really looked forward to, and I feel like I took that away over a dumb joke. I tried calling to apologize, but he hasn't responded. My husband thinks she's the one who should apologize. I'm considering giving her another chance, but before I do, was I the op? AITA for going off on my wife for commenting about our 3-week-old daughter's looks? My daughter, our second child, is 3 weeks old. Pre-pregnancy, my wife was diagnosed with general anxiety disorder and depression, and in the days since birthing our baby girl, is most definitely experiencing postpartum depression. Our first child, our son, looks very much so like her. In fact, if you look at baby photos of my wife, they look almost exactly like our son's baby photos. And my wife is a looker, so my son Isam cute, thank you very much. Our daughter got a bit more of my side's gene pool. Her hairline kinda has a widow's peak, which I've had since I was a baby. Her lips are relatively thin, like me. Her nose is a little larger to Noor's son's was. I have a Middle Eastern classic hook nose. Nearly every day in my daughter's 21 days on this earth, my wife has made a comment to baby girl about how she's so sad she got daddy's features. Some of the things wife has said to baby girl: "Don't worry, I'll get you a nose job as soon as you're old enough. I wish you had gotten more of my features. My family is beautiful and all the women are timeless. Your dad's family, not so much. Son, has the beautiful pouty lips and you got stuck with those pencil lips. Ooh, it's really tough being a girl. Up until yesterday, I was taking a softer approach with comments like, okay be nice, and okay chillax, but today I had enough and just snapped and yelled at her for like 5 minutes straight, and I cursed. Quite a bit too. The gist of my statements were, I don't care if she can't yet understand what you're saying. Stop putting that hit out into the universe. Son, can understand you, so stop this garbage. I can understand you, so stop putting this hit in my head and making me listen to it. Yay, life on girls is tough in this world, especially when their mom is hitting all over their appearance. She's ucking 3 weeks old and is still perfect and noble and hasn't hurt *Adam soul. Stop projecting onto her. You regularly tell me how your mom ucked up your psyche with all her comments about your appearance. So why the UCK are you doing the same to baby girl? Anyways, she was understandably hurt by my comments and we haven't really talked about it or debriefed since. I recognize that part of her comments stem from her anxiety, depression as well as her postpartum depression, and I also recognize there a lot of this stems from her mom's influence on her psyche. I also recognize that yelling and berating people is rarely the right thing. So AITA here? AITA for becoming that parent by causing a stink at my daughter's school? My daughter, Cleo, 11, is very active outside of school. She plays soccer, takes swim lessons and will play outside a lot with neighborhood kids. She's very social. Most of her friends are from outside of school. At school, however, she struggles making friends. Cleo has a ADHD and was bullied in 3rd and 4th grade for some of that. While it was brought under control by 5th, current grade, these kids still don't play with her and pretty much ice her out. While I don't think they have to play with her, it also means that she doesn't socialize a lot at school. She's okay with this. Her teacher says our daughter often plays alone at recess or reads. My wife and I were not very concerned and explained she's very social and active afterwards. Cleo is a huge reader. She's currently reading her way through my wife's collection of books from her childhood. She loves them and treasures them, knowing they were her mama's and wants to take great care of them. She came home on Tuesday, very upset and worried her mom would be upset with her. I asked why and she said her teacher took her book away and won't give it back until tomorrow. When pressed for more information, she said she was reading at recess. Her teacher walked over, took the book and told her to go play. My daughter begged for her book back and the teacher refused. I quickly assured Cleo that she wasn't in trouble and even called my wife at work to have her back me up. It was quite concerning that she was so afraid, as my wife isn't one to fly off the handle. She's always gentle with Cleo. As suspected, my wife assured her she wasn't upset and that Cleo did zero wrong. The next day, I brought Cleo to school early and walked her to class. No one but the teacher was there. I told the teacher to give me the book. She obliged and tried to defend herself. I told her to save it and she had no right. There is no rule that Cleo has to do physical activity at recess and we expressed no concern. The teacher said she was allowed to set boundaries for her class, but I pointed out recess was free time. It's not like Cleo is reading during math. We went back and forth, and finally I said I'd be reaching out to the principal. The issue was resolved quickly. I don't know the particulars, except the principal told me that Cleo is allowed to read at recess and unless she is actively harming someone or reading during a non-designated time, she wouldn't have any more books confiscated. My wife and I were pleased. Cleo even more so. My cousin is a teacher at this school, just a different grade. She says what I did is hot gossip in the teacher's lounge and that I have been marked as one of those parents. She says the teacher isn't paid enough and I should have just accepted the rule. When I pointed out we only have 2 more months left at this school, Cleo is our only and starts junior high in August, that's not a concern. My wife and I feel justified, but we are wondering if I'm an AmItheAsshole?